you ever think about the buzz of the bee, the flutter of the butterfly, or the crawl of the ant and wonder, why are they so important to our world? Each day, these tiny creatures are hard at work, playing vital roles that largely go unnoticed. They are the unseen heroes of our ecosystem. Take a moment to consider the bees, busily pollinating nearly 80% of all flowering plants, including most of the crops we eat. And what about the humble earthworms? These tireless workers aerate our soils, making them fertile and ready for new plant life. Not to mention, insects serve as a crucial food source for a myriad of other creatures, from birds to bats. With over 1 million known species, the insect world offers an astonishing diversity that enriches our planet in countless ways. So, insects are indeed the tiny gears that keep our world turning. But what happens when these gears start to disappear? Insects are vanishing at an alarming rate, a phenomenon scientists refer to as the insect apocalypse. This isn't some far-fetched science fiction plot, but a grim reality unfolding right before our eyes. A myriad of factors contribute to this decline, casting a dark shadow over the survival of these tiny, yet crucial creatures. Firstly, habitat destruction is playing a significant role. As we expand our cities and agriculture, we are encroaching upon and fragmenting the habitats that insects call home. This loss of biodiversity hotspots is a direct blow to their survival. Secondly, pollution, particularly from plastic waste and harmful chemicals, is wreaking havoc. These pollutants contaminate the soil and water, making them inhospitable for our six-legged friends. Next, the ominous spectre of climate change looms large. Rising temperatures and shifting weather patterns disrupt the delicate balance of ecosystems, leaving insects struggling to adapt. Lastly, the widespread use of pesticides in agriculture is a lethal cocktail for insects. These chemicals are designed to kill pests, but they often end up exterminating non-target species as well. Recent studies paint a distressing picture. According to one report, over 75% of flying insects in protected areas have vanished in less than 3 decades. That's a staggering rate of disappearance, and a clear signal that we're facing a biodiversity crisis of epic proportions. The loss of insects might sound like a minor issue, but the ripple effects are far-reaching and catastrophic. Imagine a world without insects. It's not as peaceful and bug-free as you might think. Without insects, the world would be a vastly different place. These tiny creatures play an enormous role in maintaining the health and balance of our ecosystems. The consequences of their extinction would be nothing short of catastrophic. Picture this: food chains collapsing. Insects are a primary food source for a multitude of species, including birds, reptiles, and amphibians. Without insects, these animals would struggle to find enough to eat, leading to a decline in their numbers and eventually their extinction. Now think about pollination. Insects, especially bees and butterflies, are vital in the reproduction of plants. They transfer pollen from the male parts of a flower to the female parts, enabling the production of seeds. Without insects, many plants would fail to reproduce, leading to a decline in biodiversity and the loss of many plant species. Insects also play a crucial role in maintaining soil health. They break down dead plants and animals, recycling nutrients back into the soil. Without insects, this process would be severely hindered, affecting plant growth and agriculture. Our survival is intricately linked with the survival of insects. They may be small, but their disappearance would leave a gaping hole in our world. We depend on them for food, for pollination, for soil health, for life as we know it. Without them, our world would be a far less vibrant, less healthy, less stable place. Our survival is intricately linked with the survival of insects. They may be small, but their disappearance would leave a gaping hole in our world. The insect apocalypse is not inevitable. We have the power to change the course of this narrative. Just as we've played a part in this decline, we have the ability to script a different ending. The practical steps we can take are many and varied. Reducing our use of pesticides is a significant move. These chemicals, while they may protect our crops and gardens, are deadly to the tiny creatures that are so vital to our ecosystem. Planting native plants is another simple yet impactful action. These plants provide the specific food and habitat that local insects need to thrive, and we can go one step further by creating insect-friendly habitats in our own backyards. A pile of leaves, a patch of wildflowers, these small acts have big impacts. In addition to these individual actions, we must also support research and conservation efforts at a societal level. The fate of insects is in our hands. Their survival is our survival. So let's choose to coexist, not just for them, but for us and for the generations to come.